Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of the EDM Grid podcast. My name is Henry, also known as Henkray. Once again joined by Oswald, aka Oswald.
Yo.
He is back, and the last time we recorded, his PC was kind of cooked, but not his PC, his laptop. But it's back now, and
this guy, no, yeah, it's alive, so yeah, and damn, did you miss my face? I'm actually doing really good. Really nice, actually. Like, been couple busy days, but we're back, dude.
And I am very happy that you're here because we kind of needed you. We've had too many English people on the podcast. Obviously, Miss Lena last episode. The Britishisms will continue with this episode because we are being joined by a fellow Londoner. Makes a lot of EKG. Works with Nealuminum, which we will talk about later, and also has made UNDRVULT. Ladies and gentlemen, ESKVY, how are you doing today?
Woo!
Yo, what's good?
Yo.
I'm doing good.
Yeah, we kind of needed Oswald here desperately because two Londoners in the same call. It
was not gonna be about music anymore, so
yeah,
I'm kind of
that's what I was gonna say. Yeah,
it's just not even music. It's just so what about like you were drinking a cup of tea beforehand? Like it would just be the most British thing. Like
yeah, you ever checked out Eminem World down in wherever that's from?
Buckingham Palace. You know that's like the best place in the world.
Yeah, in it.
Oh my god.
Bottle of water in it.
It's, I'm looking out my window and like the skies are a bit cloudy. You know, they're a bit grey. You know, this.
I mean, it's here too, but like, whatever.
It's cold as well.
It's
been
Europe.
So cold.
It's Europe.
Yeah. But no, how you been?
I've been doing good. Yeah, been working as usual. Working on some new tunes, new stuff for UNDRVULT, keeping myself busy, and also trying to relax in between.
Exactly, that's what it is. So to start off this episode, ESKVY has done a lot of stuff in music and in this scene. He used to be a lot more primarily an EKG producer, and I sort of want to know how did you get into that in the first place? Because EKG is not really a genre that you see in this underground space, and so I find it very interesting that is the genre that you first pivoted to.
Yeah, so my discovery of UKG was like at a very young age. I remember specifically my mom told me we had this old stereo system, and she had like a collection of UK garage albums and compilations. And when she'd clean the house or something, she would just play it on the radio. And she said that when I was around 3 years old, I'd always just sit in front of the speakers and just listen to the music. And that thing sort of continued as I grew up because we always listened to the same albums and same music. And yeah, when I got into when I was 10 or 11, I got my own sound system, just massive unit of a sound system. And I used to play the same CDs that she used to. I kind of just got into, like the groove of it, kind of got into the sound. And when I first went to make music, like when I went to this youth center, tried out Logic for the first time, the first thing I made was a house beat. And I guess it just kind of fell into that, like you kind of grow up with the music you listen to. And then if you decide to start making music, you should just start making what you've been listening to for your whole life. And yeah, kind of just got into that, started learning more.
Do you still have that first house beat? Because I remember my first song that I ever made. It was so bad.
I do. I have the original file with the original metadata still. I'm gonna find it. I know I have it saved in like a certain place, but I believe I can get the exact date of when it was exported.
ESKVY is gonna be like, yeah.
That's great. She's saving that project. Wow.
He's gonna be like, yeah, I did it.
I have almost all my old songs from I guess like 2013-ish to now. Like I've archived almost everything.
So
wait, but like, let me get this clear. You started in Logic?
Yeah, I started in Logic. That was my first major door. I mean, I guess you can say my first experience in music production was Mixcraft 5. That was like my first exposure to music production. But the first major door that I used to create music regularly was Logic 9 and Logic X. And then from there I moved to FL. And now I'm doing both Logic and FL.
Wow.
Wait, so how long ago did you start this? How long ago did you actually start making music?
I think now it's for like 11 years. I started really young. I think I was like 11, 12. I was young when I started making music.
Damn. Because the thing is, you said like
a
name, like, oh, I started with this. It is something I've never heard of in my entire life. So 11 years.
Mixcraft 5.
Yeah, I've never heard of it.
It's an ancient piece of software.
I
Today's
thought
standards, it will not hold up. Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
what got you
ESKVY
started? What made you want to start making music?
So funny enough, the actual origin story of how I got into music is I was in primary school and in ICT class. These old computers, I think they did have XP on them. They had like a list of software that was just underneath a hidden tab, and you could just scroll through that. And one of the things that caught my eye was Mixcraft Studio 5, and I clicked in it. This was just during class, by the way, when I started messing around with it. And I just started, putting these loops together, trying things out, and that kind of what sparked, hey, this is pretty fun. I kind of want to keep doing this. So I just stuck to it. I actually made a CD, like a physical CD, in that class and got it printed with a custom art and whatnot.
That's kind of cool.
That's amazing.
Ever since that CD, that's kind of what cemented, you know what, I think what I want to do is music. So I just kept at it, finding places, looking into like other softwares. Like I went from Mixcraft 5 to Music Maker Jam, if anyone knows what that is. I went from there to going to this youth club for Logic and then continuing Logic. And yeah, progression from that one CD is where it all started.
Do you still have the CD? Like, you hang up in the wall, like on the move?
Have it.
Sure.
I have it somewhere. It's like in one of my folders. It's somewhere in there. I got
deep in the archives.
Yeah, literally deep in the archives. But I know I do have it.
So when did you?
Yeah, I feel like it's pretty important to save all that kind of stuff because like.
Agreed. Yeah, preserve everything that you've made so you can track your progression. Like even to this day, when I'm like chilling or if I'm working on something, I have like a playlist of like all my songs from the start to now. And I just put that on shuffle. And sometimes in the middle, I'll just be like, damn, I made this absolutely abhorrent beat in Mixcraft, and now I'm here today making what I'm making now.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So how long did you actually start making like, or were you making UKG before you then pivoted onto other genres? Like, were you always making house UKG beats until recently, or was it just, yeah, you know what, I'll go to something else?
So funny enough, I think I started with UKG as a production thing, but I did discover dubstep before that. Like my first exposure to dubstep was on Just Dance. I don't remember which one. Just Dance. It was Skrillex's song "Rock and Roll Take You to the Mountains." That was my first exposure to dubstep, and ever since then I kind of got into it. But I never really produced it as much, just because it's a more complex genre, and I kind of like the dancey nature of garage more. So I had done garage until I discovered Disciple, which was, when was that? That was quite a while ago. I want to say like 2019-ish, around there, 2018, 2019. And that's when I kind of got into, the more extreme sound design stuff. I started in FL as well in 2016. So I started making stuff in FL. Got my first synth, my first VST synth, which was Helm by Matt Title, same guy that made Vital. That's his OG synth. And just started from there. So I've always kind of started with UKG. Like, there is still a song to this day that's out on YouTube that is an old UKG track of mine that I made way before making dubstep.
Oh my god! You might need to link me it afterwards. You might need to link me it.
I can drop it right now, actually.
Oh my god! Just drop the link just randomly.
Yeah, it's still up.
How long ago was it then? Like, that's insane. Like, that you have something from all those years ago, and it's like, oh yeah, no, that you still have that, and you can still go back and listen to it. Because I know so many people that are just like, oh, I deleted it because it sucks, but
yeah, because it's cringe or something. Like, ooh, let's see.
Yeah, I mean, it was updated. It was uploaded 5 years ago, but I'm pretty sure I made a song quite a bit before that.
Ooh, wait. I want to kind of point out your alias before was SK.
Yeah. My name has had a massive evolution over the years.
how I was gonna ask that. How did ESKVY like come to be?
Come up, yeah.
So the name ESKVY is actually such a funny story because like the dubstep artists, they just changed the A to a V and it's still pronounced the same. But with me, it was just like that. The change to a V was just a solid pronunciation. Like it's pronounced ESKVY. And how it came about is one of my old music mentors, when in the studio I was working at before, we was talking about distribution and how I should start distributing my first album, Amp Designer Volume 1. And we both pointed out that my current name, at the time, SK, was not a good name at all. Because when you search that on Google, YouTube, SoundCloud, anything, there's like a billion results for that name. So we sat there brainstorming for 20 minutes thinking of, how can we, get you a new name that works? And he just said, what if you just swap the A for a V? And it hit right there.
Mental.
At that moment, it was like genius thought. So when I went home that day, I did some searching on the name, because when you search for an artist name, you want to search around all platforms so no one is taking that name. And surprisingly, there were 0 people with that name. So I took it. And I kind of didn't like the whole, change the V's and A's or pronounce the same, because it's a bit strange to me. So I just kept it as ESKVY. And ever since then, it just took off. Like immediately, search results have been so much easier. Google's just kind of recognized, this is an artist. So they gave me the artist tag. It's just been smooth from there on.
Look.
So
yeah, I don't think the people usually think about the search result exposure type when choosing a name. They just go off vibes, but that's amazing, actually.
But it's very important thing to actually keep in mind, because that's how you get discovered. Most people, when you say, I make music, they say, what's your name? They'll just search Google. They won't go to specifically SoundCloud or somewhere, just search your name. They'll just find it on Google. And if you're easy to find on Google, then you're easy to find everywhere else.
Noted, actually.
So how long ago did you
SEO.
create ESKVY then? Like how long ago have you been releasing music as an artist?
How long have I been releasing as an artist? Oh, damn. I remember dropping things on YouTube exclusively. The current YouTube channel I have is the original channel when I started posting music. So however old this channel is, which is January 15th, 2015. So that's when I made a channel, dropped a few songs in there, probably like mid 2015 to 2016, and then just changed it up as it went on.
So so last year was your 10-year anniversary of like releasing music as an artist.
Wow.
10 whole years.
10 years, that's damn.
So at what point then did you start taking music seriously then? Because it's sort of like, you said that when you were working on your first studio album, you wanted to change your name for you to be more recognizable, but was there any points beforehand?
That was around the time, around then was kind of when I was taking it seriously, because distribution for me is like a huge step up as an artist. Like you can go from making music in your room and just having it on your files to then releasing it on SoundCloud and YouTube, but then distributing it to Spotify, Apple Music, and all those services. That's a whole different step. And that's when I was like, if I'm gonna be doing music seriously, I'm gonna need to distribute and I'm gonna need to take all of my music seriously. So around that time is kind of when I got serious. There were some bits before that with some older EPs that I'm like, I should put out there, but around the time I got ESKVY as a name was when I started being more serious.
Yeah. So then, what was the time that you sort of first started gaining traction with ESKVY then? Because, like, you very recently
That's a great question.
have been, killing it. You work with Neo Aluminum. Were there any points beforehand where you thought, I'm going somewhere with this?
I feel like it was kind of around the release of either Tritechnica EP or Ampli 2, because I think specifically Ampli 2, because that was kind of like the big album. I still get questions today about Ampli 2 and when's Ampli 3 coming out and stuff like that. So I feel like Ampli Designer Volume 2 was kind of like my break into this entire scene.
Okay. When sorry, I'm kind of like outdated, but when was that released? Like
Empire Designer Volume 2 released January 2023.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've got the
and that was around the
Spotify
time
page pulled
I was
up and the
releasing
SoundCloud
on.
pulled up.
Yeah, I was releasing labels like Scan, Neo, what else? Frostfire, Outsize, like those sort of labels I was releasing on. That was kind of where I was getting a lot of traction from as well. Especially a big hit was 2 tracks, Stratospherica on Scan Records and Eve on Mystic Records. Those two projected me like pretty far. Like they got a lot of traction.
So
Nice.
you've been involved around like the underground community since 2021, 2020. Around that is when you sort of started getting into it.
Yeah, 2020. Yeah, 2021, 2020.
How did you discover it?
So in the great year of 2020, we'll remember 2020. I was invited to a smaller underground label, Gas Records. We do not speak of that label now. It's a bit kind of in the dust, but that's kind of where I discovered a lot of people from there, like Irie. You have people like Azanian who I met through that record label, and we all just kind of evolved from there. We went from just being like a group of friends to, making music together, hanging out and stuff. And then from there, I think Irie had Dub Dynasty, and then there was also Exodus Collective that also came from that. And then from those two, Neo kind of started right after that, and we all just kind of moved from there to Neo, and things just started pulling up from there.
Okay.
I think this is a good segue point to start speaking of Neoluminum, because you are very involved in the Neoluminum. You work as an A&R for them. Were you always involved with Neoluminum since the start and sort of the making of Neoluminum?
I wasn't like too involved, but I was invited as an artist for Volume 1. I think Irie or someone invited me. Yeah, Irie invited me to Neo and was like, "Oh, there's this new label, they're doing a compilation, do you want to join?" At first, I was hesitant because I wouldn't really like join new stuff, but then I was like, why not? Let's give it a shot. So I hit up Kane, also known as Somni or Oros, whatever you knew them at the time, and we worked on Gehenna. We sent it through, and it received a ton of positive feedback. Like it was a lot. And then from the release of Volume 1 is kind of when it all started. We got our names out there. And how I got A&R position was they just had staff demos open. So I was just I've done A&R before for other labels, why not do it this one? And yeah, I got accepted, started from there, and now I'm lead A&R.
Yeah. It probably helps that you've sort of known a lot of the people who also work with Neoluminum, like Eerie Arts. So you've sort of always been involved with the people of the community, but now you're actually involved with helping out.
Right.
Yeah.
What is A&Ring for Neoluminum actually like? How many tracks do you have to sit through?
A&R for Neo is like, it's very much like an on-off kind of thing. Like, obviously when demos are closed, we're not really doing much A&Ring because there's no demos coming through.
Right.
When it is open, it's hectic. We get so many demos. Like,
Damn.
I can't remember, during the remix contest, I think we got like near enough 300 submissions we had to go through. And we had to make a whole different spreadsheet just for remixes, and then a different spreadsheet for deciding the winners of the remixes. And yeah, it was a lot. But every time the demo's open or we get a remix contest, I'm always super excited just to get right into reviewing. Because this sort of stuff is kind of what I like to do. I like to help people out with their music, kind of give them points and feedback and stuff like that. So whenever demos do open, I'm just like, yes, it's time to spend 45 hours listening to 200 tracks. I'm so ready for this.
That's pretty wholesome, actually. Damn.
How do you even start to approach doing that?
Yeah, I mean,
like, how do I start? Like, just going in doing A&R?
Do you have to like schedule time to like, okay, at this point in the day, I need to listen through these tracks, or is it just you'll randomly listen to them?
Yeah, it's sort of a mix of both. Sometimes I'll be like, I kind of want to get at least X amount of songs listened to in a day, or if I'm not working, then a bit more than that. Because usually when I come home from work, my ears are fatigued, so I don't really listen to music. But if it's on like one of my off days, then I'll be like, yeah, okay, once I'm done with this thing, I'm gonna go listen to 10 tracks from the submission pool and give that a rating and review, and then yeah. Or sometimes I'm just like, if I'm bored, I'll just see what's happening in the spreadsheet and just review some stuff.
That's actually fair. And I'm curious, like when you're A&Ring and analyzing and stuff, how do you actually, well, more like what do you listen for and what's your thought process when giving feedback?
So my main thing is about the execution of the idea, because obviously Neo is a multi-genre label. Like we've released a lot of different genres on the label, and me myself, I listen to a lot of stuff outside of EDM. Like I've got a few jazz vinyl records, got some classics, I got some old R&B stuff. Like I listen to a lot of different genres, so I'm not really biased by a genre. So I'm more listening to like, is the mix down good? Is the sharp high end, or is the execution of the ideas actually good? That sort of stuff. And when I do feedback, my main thing is sort of like the resonances and the overall mix down. Like if there's too much bass, not enough bass, that sort of stuff.
That's interesting, yeah.
Do you think that A&Ring has changed since you've started? Like, has there been any sort of shifts in what you look out for since the start of you A&Ring for Neoluminum?
Yeah, it really depends on the place you're A&Ring for, because obviously every label has their own standards and every label has a vision of what they want to do. So when I was A&Ring for other labels, for example, Exodus Collective, back when that was a thing, it was more just like, we get sent in a song, does it sound good? Yeah, cool, it's up, that sort of thing. But with Neo, it's very much like, it's a smarter system. I feel like it's more organized, it's more better laid out, things kind of just fall into place pretty nicely, and we always just give feedback and comments where we can. Obviously, if we are completely stacked and we need to kind of get notices out there, we can't just give feedback to every track, because it does take a while to give out feedback to a track. Like I feel like per track would probably take like 20-ish minutes to kind of compile everything, get everyone's thoughts on it. Yeah, like just to get everyone's thoughts and then compile that, send that through. Each track is like 10-20 minutes, so we try not to give every track feedback because that will take up a lot of time, but we always listen to every track in detail. Like me personally, I would sit through the whole track, even if it's like 6-8 minutes long, just kind of get it through and then write some thoughts.
But I bet it's also been hell since you've got CFC as well, and do you A&R for CFC as well?
Yeah.
So
the spreadsheet is open for submissions right now, and I've checked it, and there's already quite a few in there. But we can't rank them yet. We're kind of waiting until we get more things in and the system's more in place. But yeah, that's going to be a lot, and I'm ready for it.
Yeah, I think like there's been like 70 groups or something that I've seen for it. So
no, close to 100, I feel like, and then like,
oh my god, never mind, it's more than I thought.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like 100 or more, but yeah.
So that's gonna be another load of drops, like that you're gonna need to sit through.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot, but like I said, I'm ready for it. I kind of just schedule some days to go through a certain amount of tracks. Yeah, especially now that I've got like jobs and I'm like busy in real life. I have to try and really slot in the time.
Since you've been A&Ring, have you seen a sort of shift in the music being made from now and then? Because you've obviously listened to a lot of tracks that like other people haven't heard of, and like have you seen any trends changing since you've been A&Ring?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I mean, for example, rhythm as a sub-style of dubstep has been evolving a lot over time. It was a lot different back when I was doing it in 2022 compared to now. Like the sound has shifted a lot, especially with like the rise of square 4 rhythm or the more recent spectral sound design kind of rhythm. Like that sort of stuff was not there years back when I was doing A&R, so it's more just like the old school kind of heavier rhythm sort of sound that I was hearing a lot. But now it's like a lot of, you know, square 4 spectral stuff, more like experimental-ish sort of rhythm where it's just people just throwing sounds and making it sound good.
Right, I feel like square 4 is not really, or maybe it's like a bit correct me if I'm wrong, but like it's dying a bit. But yeah,
I honestly could not tell you. I haven't been keeping my eyes on the rhythm scene as a whole.
Right.
I know Square 4 is still a thing that's kind of, it's still going. Maybe it is less popular now, but it's still kind of a thing that's released, and but especially with labels like Port Zero now being a thing, like
yeah,
they are dropping more Square 4 sort of tracks.
Yeah, but for sure, I remember listening to Square 4 like almost every day, like a year ago, probably.
Yeah, last year was like at its peak. I feel like
yeah,
there was a ton of Square 4 tracks just coming out, and now it's kind of like people are kind of moving on from it and they're discovering new techniques and new sounds, which, you know, that's just the evolution of music. Like house music from the 90s is completely different from house music today. You know, every genre kind of evolves forward quite quickly now.
I want to sort of talk about your more recent music now, because you have had some bangers in sort of your recent discography. One of the cool things you do, which we talked about in DMs as well, is you make a like a song or a project every time that it's your birthday, which I think is really nice.
Yeah.
Like
That's
Back
nice.
to Roots, you did. You had a song called Birthday, which couldn't be any more on the nose.
Yeah.
I also wanted to talk about your Cosmic Kittens 2 remix that you did. Full name, Cosmic Kittens 2 Quasar Quest Trail Mix and ESKVY's After Party Mix. What a name.
Fire, actually.
That's one of the names of all time. Yep.
How did that come about? Because you know, Convexity, the original song was incredibly popular. So how did that sort of come about that you and Trail Mix were to make a remix of it?
Honestly, it's all sort of a blur for me right now, but I do remember, I believed I was approached to hop on this remix since it was a UK garage based remix, and I think Trail Mix kind of knew I was in that UKG sort of style. So we both just kind of hopped on it. We've done a remix of it, you know. It was a great blend of our styles, I feel like, because it's got kind of like my sort of drum groove when it comes to UKG and her sort of sound design and melodic greatness that she does. And yeah, it kind of just fell into place. Like the event was going on and we were just like, should we just make a remix? And then we made a remix.
So it just sort of come about just randomly. Do you want to make a song? Yeah, sure. Why not? And then it just happened.
Dude, I love when collabs are so casual like that.
Yeah. It was just very casual. Like there wasn't much like anticipation or like it wasn't much of an issue. Like we both just kind of made stuff and it kind of linked in together pretty fine. I don't remember any issues at all. In fact, I remember it being great making this remix. Like it was all just good fun. We throwing ideas back and forth, combining our ideas and styles, and it worked out to make a great track. Like I still listen to it sometimes to this day, and it's like that was a year ago as well. Like hearing that from a year ago, still kind of crazy.
What has been your favorite collab, like, since you've been ESKVY? What has been like some of the favorite people that you've been collabing with?
The top, I say my favorites, the one I go back to a lot is my collabs with Genesis, namely the Holostar collab, and on my EP, what was it called? Freedom of Expression EP with the song Computer. That was a really fun collab. It was a great blend of our styles and we kind of just connected naturally. Like it wasn't much of a kind of struggle. Like we just had a conversation, which was making a song in the background type thing. And yeah, that's a great collab. And then one of my favorites is my collab with Azanian, Shadow Marionette, which is just like, I always would love to collab with Azanian more, like great stuff. And the making of that collab was like really insane. Obviously it was for, you know how I do my birthday EPs. I usually also release something on Halloween just because I don't really celebrate it outside of doing that. So I was like, you know, just get like a darker, heavier track on Halloween, makes sense. We made Shadow Marionette in, I believe, a few days, and it was just like a great combination of our sounds and styles at the time. And I remember it also just being pretty smooth. Like we had some ideas in there. We even did visuals together. Like we went in and just recorded some visuals and put it up on YouTube. Yeah.
That's nice.
So what is then sort of recently, you know, you've been actually getting more and more back into UKG than you once were.
Yeah.
Was that always planned for you, or have you just been enjoying the genre recently and wanted to go back into it?
It wasn't really planned. I guess it's like a 50-50, because like with the release of Back to Roots was actually a celebration. Obviously a birthday EP, but it was also a celebration of my origin as an artist. Like I started with UKG, so I thought for my birthday, why not release a UK Garage project? And since then, and since the great reception of that, I've kind of just been like, I want to get back into that, kind of tapping into how I started, kind of reconnecting with my origins now, is keeping things more authentic and natural like that. And especially with the rising popularity of Free Falling the Stars, which has been amazing to see. Like artists like Vorso has like reposted it and stuff like that. And I've seen streamers play the song on their streams just out randomly. So it's really gathered a great attention. And just kind of reconnecting with that root has always been kind of a thing for me. Like always keep your authenticity and stuff. And then with the release of last year's EP, Roots Renewed, it was same kind of concept, but it was also me just remaking some older songs of mine. So all the 3 songs in the EP are older songs I made probably back in like 2018, 2017. If you look in the SoundCloud description of each song, it will actually say what the original track is and its creation date. And it was just a recreation of those songs in more modern style.
Oh, nice.
It's really nice to sort of see how you've progressed, but like also like you've done a track every year for your birthday. Like you really have sort of these dates where it's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna make a song for a special occasion. It's very nice to sort of see how you keep yourself grounded through that.
Yeah, it's always good to kind of like, like I said, you know, keep your origins, keep your authenticity. Is a good way to kind of, I guess, reality check yourself. Like you can be improving a lot over the years, making these great new tunes, but also remember how you started and how this came about. And sometimes just go through your old stuff and listen to it. Like, even if it sounds terrible, like some of my old songs back then sound absolutely horrible, but the ideas I can hear and understand. And it's like, that's where I started, you know? If I didn't have these tracks, I wouldn't be where I am now. So it's good to kind of appreciate your older stuff. Because I know a lot of artists kind of, they hate their old stuff, or they just kind of remove it, delete it from their life. But I always say it's good to keep that, you know? Keep track of how you started and then think of what you do today and just think, how did you get to that point? Kind of relive your memories, I guess.
Yeah, be real with yourself type. Like,
yeah. Like,
so that's a good thing.
Really
I really like it.
So I'm guessing this recent sort of stepping back into UKG, you know, we talked about it beforehand, but we have a lot of like UKG stuff coming back into your releases moving into 2026, which is crazy to say.
Yeah, there's plans out there for more UKG. I've got some collaborations coming out. Got yet another birthday EP. Surprise to no one, but yeah, another one's in the works with some great house tunes, some garage stuff, and a very special VIP that might be dropping. There's a lot of great stuff that's coming out in the future, and I'm really excited for it.
Special VIP.
So what you're trying to say is that we're eating good for the future of ESKVY as
2026.
For the future, you guys are eating a well prepared, luxurious Sunday roast. Like it's gonna be great stuff. And I plan to release more songs this year. Like last year, I think I released around, how much has I've got played? I think it's like 30 or so.
30 songs.
Let's see what we got here. 2025. 26. I released 26 tracks in 2025, and this year I'm probably gonna be releasing more because a lot of what's been coming into this year is more just like getting things out there. Like a lot of kind of what I make just kind of gets lost in the archives and just stuck in project file hell. But this year I'm kind of like, there's no need to hold yourself back. There's no need to kind of gatekeep your music. Like if you made something cool that you love, why not put it out there? You know, let the rest of the world see. And that's kind of my philosophy of music, is that I enjoy making music. Like the creation of music has always been something that I love doing. And that's going to be my motivation to keep releasing stuff. Like I make a song, I find it cool, I release it. Simple process.
That's great. I'm actually kind of curious, like, because you're saying in 2025 you released 26-ish songs then?
I released 0. I have not released any.
I've
not released
like
any
3
songs.
or less, I don't know, but like it's interesting how like that's on average like 2.5 songs a month. And
so
I'm curious to know like I'm curious to know like how many of the projects that you start you actually release. Like, is it a lot more or?
So, I mean, a lot of the things that were released in 2025 were ABs and EPs. For example, Sand Dunes, Invisible For Me, Back to Roots, that sort of stuff. Those are just EPs. But in terms of the ratio between stuff I've made and stuff I've released, it's sort of like I still have a lot of work in progress files from 2025 that are just work in progress. Like, it's close to being finished, but it just hasn't got to that stage yet. And there's some stuff that I've made in 2025 that is releasing in 2026. So some of them stuff is carrying over. I'm trying to finish more projects, but there are a lot of work in progress stuff that just goes unheard of. And in 2026, I kind of want to reduce that. I kind of want to finish more songs, you know, not have so much stuff gate kept. And like, there's truly no restriction to releasing music. Like, you can drop a song as much as you want.
That's
a lot of this stems from like, if you've paid attention to Irie Arts releasing a few years back, he used to release songs weekly. Like, he released a lot of songs in a year, and I was just kind of thinking like, he's just doing that. Like, there's no reason not to do that, you know. He makes a song, he finds it cool, he releases it. Simple as that. So I'm trying to get back into like, you know, stop gatekeeping your stuff, stop holding yourself back. You know, if you've got something cool that you want to share it.
Yep, that's actually how you like grow as an artist. I feel like nowadays, like, just keep on it and keep on showing and expressing yourself.
Yeah, just keep going. There's time moves fast now, and like there's no point in waiting for that one spark. Just keep putting things out there, and you know, keep working on it, and you'll eventually get that big old spark that you want. You know, you just gotta keep at it.
Definitely.
That's inspiring, actually.
Yeah, you know, a lot of your sort of career as an artist so far has been around sharing stuff. This is the segue onto the other thing that we're going to talk about. A lot of your time has been sharing stuff, but enough about you sharing your own stuff. But what about you sharing other people's stuff? Can you see what I'm doing? It's UNDRVULT.
You're great.
UNDRVULT. Yes.
UNDRVULT.
But UNDRVULT.
Let's talk about that, because it is so incredible to like see how it's progressed over the first year of it being a thing. It released actually around the same time that the EDM Grid did. I think it was the day before.
Really?
Like, you put out UNDRVULT, and then the day after, EDM Grid was put out. And I remember
UNDRVULT started January 1st. Like, as soon as January 1st hit, it started.
I think EDM Grid was January 2nd.
Yeah. Like, I remember we said like, no, January 1st is like too much of an important day. We have to do January 2nd.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
It was too on the nose. Yeah. What was the idea behind UNDRVULT and like you starting that?
So I actually wrote a blog about this on the UNDRVULT website, explaining like the origin of UNDRVULT. But just to go through it, it actually started as a conversation in Pillow Fort, where they were talking about like dubstep promotion channels, like stuff like DSG, Dub Rebellion, UNK, like how there's a lot of promotion about that. And one of the topics was how they promoted, I can't remember what the artist was called, I don't remember right now, but it was like an underground in quotations artist, where it was just a bigger artist posing as an underground artist to get that kind of, new underground artist sort of spotlight, which I think is really not authentic. I think that's not a good thing to do if you're a bigger artist, to kind of make a smaller alias to kind of pose as an underground artist, because it kind of ruins the whole authenticity of an underground artist, if that makes sense. So in that conversation, I've just been thinking, there's not many channels out there that promote purely underground music. Like, there's some examples, like shout out Lexus, Cloud Paradise. Those two channels are great for just underground music, but there's nothing that I've seen personally that's just been 100% underground. Like, because the underground makes some great stuff that I think is really evolving the scene and the music as we know it, but it's going severely underappreciated and dominated by these promo channels that promote already popular songs by already popular artists. So the idea of Undervolt was to kind of have that platform that would help those underground artists kind of break into that sort of going on that bigger channels kind of thing, or just kind of getting their stuff out there where more people can hear it. And in the first year, it's been really successful, and I'm kind of great to see that, you know? Kind of glad that it's happening.
How long did it take to then make Undervolt, or like get it going? Like how long did it take before it was actually announced to make everything?
I believe I can probably just go to the server and find like the first staff chat log. I think it started around, I started kind of working on the idea around like December, early December. I say around like the 10th or something. And that was more just like drafting out the name and kind of getting the aesthetics down, getting the visual stuff down. There's a lot of prep and planning. And with that, I want to shout out two very important people that kind of helped with the, you know, idea of Undervolt. I want to shout out X2H for helping me decide on the name for Undervolt. We were talking back and forth about different names and whatnot, and we both kind of said Undervolt kind of sounds like the best name. So yeah, shout out him for helping out with the naming and kind of being like, I guess, the first supporter of Undervolt. I want to shout out Azernian for being a great source for finding a lot of underground music. Like obviously Undervolt has its request form, and the person that's sent in the most stuff that I've checked out has been Azernian, and she's also willing to help out a lot. So I want to shout out for that. And obviously shout out to you, Henry, Scavenger, and Irie Arts for being the first three partners of Undervolt, which really helped to kind of build up the platform. And yeah, no, it's been great.
So what was the initial reception then when you sort of released Undervolt, or at least said it was a thing? Like how long did it take before it started getting up traction the way that it has?
I don't think I can really count the amount of times people have said, oh my god, SV's making a label. The amount of people that have said, oh, this new SV label's coming out. I was like, no, it's not a label. It's just a promotion. It started as a promotion channel. But it did take a while. I say within the first Undervolt release or promotion was a premiere for I can't remember what the compilation was. It was one of Shuttle Wreck's compilations. There was 2 tracks from that. That sort of started good, and then I feel like it really picked up during like the mid halfway point, where we had stuff like the ANV10 selection. We had Low Kit's Disciple Remix contest. Undervolt kind of partnered with Low Kit to promote the winners of some of the winners of those, as well as a lot more kind of underground events like that. It's kind of what helped push out Undervolt, especially with all the premieres and whatnot that's been going on.
So I wanted to know as well, what was the idea behind the Undervolt premieres? Because that, I think, has also been something really cool that I've been seeing that you're doing with Shuttle Rex and Unbeyond anthologies. So like, was that always something that you were planning to do, or was it a spur of the moment type thing?
It was not. It was very much like I was taking inspiration from Lexus, because that's kind of the promo channel that I keep my eyes on. They also do premieres with labels, and the whole idea of that is just like, you know, these labels are already promoting great underground talent, and if they had another platform where they can promote that, you know, just a seamless connection between artist and promoter, Undervolt will be that place. So I hit up Irie and Scav like, hey, would you be interested in doing a partnership? And it's quite simply like, they have unreleased music, or they have music coming up. If they want to have another place to promote that, they can just DM me saying, hey, we got this new release from artist X, would you like to promote it? And I'll be like, yeah, cool. It's like a streamlined process, but it's just another way to kind of not only promote more underground talent, but kind of get newer artists that I wouldn't have discovered outside of these sort of partnerships. Similar thing is with Label Radar as well. When Undervolt got accepted as a official promoter for Label Radar, it was great because we got a ton of new artists that came through and submitted a bunch of stuff. And I remember within like the first 2 days, the Undervolt Label Radar profile already acquired like 100 or so followers just right off the bat. So there was clearly a big interest there. And we had amazing artists like Jay Phoenix is a good example, who's been promoted quite a few times. He's like sort of underground, but he's been popping off recently, and we've been promoting a bunch of his tracks. And just partnerships, collaborations, that sort of thing does help to boost not only the artists and the label, but also UNDRVULT as well.
Wow. Is there anything else that you have thought to do with UNDRVULT? Like, are there any other things that you want to do with it?
So yeah, I want to do more guest mixes, so where artists can make a set or a mix of underground tracks, and that can be promoted through UNDRVULT, which has been done before with DM8's mix that's been released recently. More collaborations, more opportunities to get artists out there, do more short form content. I've wanted to do interviews with artists and also label owners about like the underground, like the importance of the underground, how they kind of came about music, and what being the underground is, what music means to them, sort of stuff. Also, a very ambitious idea I had was sample packs. If you know of Blank Note, how they had like this big community sample pack, I sort of want to do something similar, but not just be UNDRVULT sample pack 1, but really be a pack for other artists that's made by the underground. But as well as that, since the UNDRVULT website is actually built on a store page, you can also be a host for artists releasing their sample packs. So it'll be like a sample hub, basically. Like, let's say, I don't know, Oswald or Henry, you guys make a sample pack, but you don't want to release it on some like Gumroad or Payhip or something. You want to do it sort of like where other people can also get it easier. That's what UNDRVULT will be for. We have the resources to make the page, to set up pricing, which I will say pricing will always be free, just because I don't want to make profit off anything to do with UNDRVULT. So like free packs, you got a platform to share, you got an easy way to get the pack, that sort of stuff. Just like a nice place where people can just easily get sample packs made by the underground.
Yeah, I'm already feeling the hype, actually.
Yeah, it's very much
those are
in
amazing
the works.
plans. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
that actually, wow.
Is there any
Sounds
labels
amazing.
or
And
people that you want to collaborate with?
Not like in mind right now. I kind of, when I think of a label to partner with, I always think about, I need to know who this label is and who's it run by. I need to know their consistency and like their upload quality, because if you've noticed within the past few months, there's a lot of underground labels that's been started and ended. Like very recently, Saikatsu Recordings shut down, which is very unfortunate because they literally just dropped a compilation. So yeah, that record shut down. And there's also a label by Magu, what was it called, Asterisk, that started up, that's also been in hiatus. So when I think of partnering with a label, they have to obviously be around for a while and kind of have a good backing on them, as well as have a good output. Because the last thing we want to do is like partner with a label that starts like on a strong foot and then just dies out of nowhere, which is kind of not good for anyone. But yeah, there's a few labels out there that I've kind of got my eyes on that I'll just like to get some stuff from. I've got like a list on the Notion page for UNDRVULT where it just has labels I keep an eye on. Stuff like, obviously Neo's on there, Shuttle Rex, all these underground labels that I just keep a track of.
Okay.
The future is strong, ladies and gentlemen.
Definitely. Like,
I really want to lock in on UNDRVULT as of this year, because even as of right now, it's kind of been getting increasingly popular. Like, I used to kind of average around like, I guess 10 or so views, which, to be fair, I'm not too fussy about the amount of views it gets, because it's still a new project. It started last year. We're not going to get hundreds of thousands of views. But even as of right now, I used to average 10 to now get about like 50 or something. Like, it's been popping off a lot recently. So I'm kind of hurrying on kind of keeping consistent, dropping tracks and shorts and posts and all that stuff. And even as of yesterday, there's been a new page on the UNDRVULT website, which is actually a list of free resources for musicians and visual artists. So anyone can visit that link, and there's about 50 different links and stuff, where it could be stuff like assets for visuals, spreadsheets that contain label connections, promoter connections, just a bunch of useful links for musicians and visual artists that they can just go to and can develop their projects.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
So what is in store for the future of UNDRVULT then? Is there any concrete plans that you have that you'd want to share with us?
Not much. I mean, I do want to try to get more blogs out and interviews, but as for UNDRVULT, just keep promoting the underground. Keep focusing on supporting the underground is my main thing. That's why we opened the resource page. You know, not only do we just want to be another a DSG clone or another like dubstep promotion channel, I want UNDRVULT to be like a hub for underground discovery, whether that's just through listening to music on YouTube or finding resources, sample packs, interviews, that sort of stuff. Just be like a very big place for just the underground. And yeah, that's kind of what the goal is.
Sounds good. I mean, I've been
great.
following for a while, and like I'm very sort of impressed by the consistency of it and how much support it's gathered. I'm very happy for you in terms of just general.
Thank you very much.
Seeing from like how it went from like 50 subs and then it's got 400, I think, or around 400 now, and you know, some videos.
Yeah, man, for a first year, it's amazing. Actually, yeah.
Some of the videos have gotten 1,000 views plus. So like, it's been incredible seeing the amount of support that it's been able to get over the past year or so.
Yeah. Oh, sorry about that.
It's fine.
Consistently is kind of like
popping off a lot.
Yeah, and the consistently, I gotta shout out the consistently, because like a video a day, an average. I mean.
Plus the shorts as well.
Yeah.
I sometimes get the shorts as well.
A lot of that is really just down to how these videos are made. So if it's not known already, all the UNDRVULT videos is made inside the FL Studio using Z-Game Visual Editor.
On Z-Game, yo.
Yeah.
Elite ball knowledge.
All the shorts, all the videos, they're all made in Z-Game. And I've kind of like saved a template where all I need to do is get the song, put it in the project, get the artwork, and it all just kind of syncs up by itself. Having that sort of thing for a channel like this is very useful, because that means you can get more things done within a short amount of time and not have to worry about stuff like, you know, overworking yourself or kind of not doing enough. So yeah, having a good template is great to have, but also like just discovering music as well. Yeah, that's
definitely. I was gonna say.
Yeah.
All right, we are getting to
like,
the end
on
of the
average,
episode. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, but like I wanted to know on average, like how much time does it take to make like one of these videos? Then like, if the process is so automated.
It can take anywhere between like a minute to about 5 minutes, depending on the stuff. Because how the template works is that the visuals are already set there. The track channel where you put in the song is linked to certain parameters in Z-Game. And all you need to do is just put the song on that specific channel, and then things kind of align itself with the visuals. Yeah, and then change the name, obviously, put the artwork, and export the video. The longest thing, I think, is actually the rendering and the uploading. Rendering does take a while because, obviously, long song, many songs, longer visual time. And the uploading, I don't have the best of Wi-Fi's right now, so it does take a while for it to upload, but I kind of put them in bulk. Like I will dedicate like an hour or so just to making UNDRVULT videos, especially because, you know, I'm working and I'm doing a lot of stuff in life, so
of course
I need to have things scheduled. But yeah, no, I think just having that template is really useful.
It doesn't take too long to make videos, so you could just do them, get them done, upload them, schedule them, and then they're out.
Yeah, for sure.
So we have gotten to near the end of the episode. It has gotten by incredibly fast, as always.
Yeah, it has.
What I want to know is both for UNDRVULT and for you as an artist. We've talked a lot about the past, but I think now it's time to talk about the future. What are some of the cool plans which you have for 2026 for both, and sort of some of the stuff that we can look forward to as fans of both ESKVY and UNDRVULT? What's the new stuff that you've got planned, apart from some of the stuff you've got already, like the birthday EP, some more blogs and interviews? Is there anything else that you're planning to put out?
Yeah, I'm planning to do a lot more other genres than what I used to make. I have recently just decided to not really do rhythm as much, because as much as it is a great genre to listen and make, it's not not that fun for me to make right now. I've been getting into a lot of like glitch hop, mid tempo, obviously garage. So kind of releasing more other genres, being more like experimental, but also just keep releasing things, you know. If I've got a song that I like, put it out there. No threats, no worries. For UNDRVULT, you know, just keep doing what we're doing, promoting the underground, get more content out there, maybe connect with more artists and labels, really build up the name. We have a resource site now, so you know, it's just kind of improving things as time goes on. I do really want to kind of lock in on UNDRVULT though, because I do believe that it can go pretty viral in the next like few years. I'm
Crazy
dedicated
potential.
to
Definitely.
I'm dedicated to making sure this works and getting things scheduled, getting things on time. You know, I'm dedicated to supporting the underground as much as I can, really.
All right, Oswald, you know what has to happen.
We're near the end, and well, we've been talking about how you listen to a lot of music, and I mean that's kind of like what you spend your time most into. So I'm really curious to know what's like your favorite projects, your favorite artists, your favorite songs. What's like your favorite the favorite music you're listening to at the moment? What are your standouts?
That's a great question. Obviously, I listen to a lot of music, but I think the one standout artist that is a big inspiration for me is someone called Todd Edwards, who has been a pioneer in the UK garage space since the 90s. And his style is very much based on like chopping up samples and, you know, kind of rearranging things to make a nice melody. That's sort of what I've done for Free Fall in the Stars as a song, but kind of in my music now, a lot of the sample chopping techniques that I do is very much inspired by his music. I actually do own one of his vinyls. It's very prestigious vinyl, just hanging up there. He's been a big inspiration since the start. In terms of other inspirations, I get a lot of my inspirations from the underground because they're really innovating the music scene right now, like bringing in these new techniques, like all this spectral sound design stuff and all these new plugin techniques. Like they're really evolving the scene more than kind of what the big artists usually do. So I'm getting a lot of inspiration from like the underground and the scene surrounding it. Especially like even when I do A&R, there's some songs that I hear that I'm like, oh, this is a really good idea. I can take notes from this and kind of use that as like inspiration to develop my own stuff, especially stuff like sound design techniques or mixing. Even like a lot of mixes that I listen to from underground artists are surprisingly clean, like really well mixed, and that's something I've been struggling with for a while. So just getting the inspiration has been helping a lot.
That's
so
great, yeah.
Because we have gotten to the end of the episode, I feel like now would be a good time for you to say whatever you want and have this space to shout out any projects which you want to shout out, say whatever you want to say. Now's your time to just shout out anything, say anything. Go ahead.
Right. Yeah, I don't even know what to say. Support my music. You can do that. I've got a website, ESKVY.com. My music's everywhere. Download stuff from Bandcamp, but I think the most important thing is support your friends as well. Not just the underground, but if you have musician friends that are in the underground, actively support them. You know, like their songs, repost, comment, be active and support your friends, as well as supporting the underground as a whole, because the underground's where it's at. In the words of Genesis, the underground is where it's at.
The words of
so
Genesis,
wholesome.
the underground is where it's at. That's a thumbnail if I've ever seen it, ladies and gentlemen.
You got your
Yeah,
quote
and
right
I
there.
stand by that. The underground is where it's at.
Well, I think that nicely concludes the episode for today. ESKVY, thank you so much for coming on. It has been an absolute pleasure talking to you for the past hour about all the stuff
Indeed,
that you
thanks
do.
for having me.
Once again, my name is Henry, also known as Henkray, joined by Oswald, aka Oswald. These intros and outros never get any better.
They will never be.
They will never be. Shout out to
special.
ESKVY for joining us in this episode, and we'll see you in the next
thank
one.
you, dude.
Oh, good.
See
Thanks
ya.
for having me.
There we
Bye-bye.
go. That's it.